All right, we're going. So this is, I guess, kind of part two. I'm still editing the SWC ARC video. I had fun doing this for about a half hour earlier today. Thought I'd go in and do some more live editing. Probably going to get a different crowd just because of the time change. It's now about 10:04 p.m. In Japan. So I think it's getting towards early morning over in America. So might start getting some people over there on. If you can see this, if you can hear this, make sure you say hi so I know you're there. As I'm doing this editing, feel free to drop in questions. I'll try and answer them. Probably gonna do this for about just a half an hour. Again, it's getting kind of late here. And what I hope to do is we'll do some B-roll. We'll drop the B-roll in. So I finished getting kind of all of the talking organized and everything. So this is the video without B-roll. So I've got footage of me talking. We did our intro in the last live editing session earlier today. And this is voiceover here in the middle, a little clip of video, voiceover, video, voiceover, conclusion, end of the video. So this video of the SWC ARC will be 13 minutes and 51 seconds. That's pretty much set at this point. Now I just need to drop in the B-roll, and then I will also start maybe doing a little bit of color grading at the end here, if you guys are interested in seeing that. I think I also got the audio fixed, at least working a little bit better, so you should be able to hear what I'm hearing on my editing computer. And hopefully I will be louder on there. So it looks like we've got about 5 people watching. Thanks for stopping by. This is not our regularly scheduled watch content, so I'm not sure how we dropped down to 3. I'm not sure how interesting people are going to find this. Maybe not very interesting at all. But let's go ahead. So I'm using DaVinci Resolve as the editing software that I use for all my stuff. And we'll go ahead and let's just look at what we got so far. All right, today we're going to be taking a look at a very budget-friendly watch. You can pick it up for right around $250. But if you look at the technical specifications and if you look at some of the performance features of this watch, you're going to find things that I think that this music is going to get kind of loud if it does.
So why is this watch
Sorry.
so affordable? How did SWC put this together? We're going to be checking out all that in today's review of the SWC ARC GMT. Hey guys, welcome back.
Okay, so that's about as far as we got in the last one. So from here, we're going to start looking for places to drop in some B-roll. So I'm going to turn me down a little bit as it's going.
And one brand that has been at kind of the forefront of this sort of specifications arms race.
So we're introducing SWC. We're going to look for some chance to show the watch. Maybe I'll just talk for a little bit longer here. I might need to do some more filming later on. But let's see. So at one point, we start talking. Okay, here we go. So here's where I start talking about the watch. So let's show the watch at this point. Let's, oh, you know what, while we're doing this, actually, I need to drop in some more files from my camera because we don't have everything yet. Let me grab that. Again, if anybody's dropping in, if you have any questions about editing or watches or whatever, feel free to drop them in the chat. And this, you know, this is live. I can answer questions and stuff. This is not like a pre-recorded thing. So feel free to chat in while we're doing this. Again, this is probably only going to be a short session, maybe for another 20, 25 minutes. But I need to pull some more files off my camera, so I'm doing that off screen. You guys can't see that right now. If you are watching, let me know where you're at, what time it is. Might be kind of a weird time for a lot of people. Okay. Let's see, where's my files? Here we go. Okay, let me get these. Oh, maybe it's on the other card. I hope it's on the other card. Okay, and let's see what we got here. Oh, I don't see them on this card either. It's not good. Just recorded a whole bunch of videos. Now I can't find them. Current B. Hargavan. Best watch under $280. So you have a $280 budget. What are you looking for? Are you looking for dive watches? What's your style? It's hard to just pick any watch under $280. I mean, the easy answer is to go with like an Orient because that's kind of the best specs for the money. Dial Classic. I mean, so like I really like I just recently got one of the Dress KXs. I'm kind of late to the party on that. The SRPs. I really like that one. That one's under 280. The only problem with it is that it has a hard Lux crystal, but there's so many mod parts. If you learn a little bit of modding, you can upgrade it to a sapphire crystal. So that's like my pick right now. If you give for just like a classic good watch. Yeah, I mean, do you go Seiko Presages are awesome, but they're generally going to jump up above that 280 price point. But yeah, then, you get the Seiko Presages with the. Hey, Mike, good to see you from the Philippines. Get the Seiko Presages, with the sapphire crystal already installed, so you don't have to install it yourself. Okay, finally getting these files here. Opinion about Swatch. I have never had a Swatch. I hear lots of good things about them. Hey, good morning, Average Joe. Good to see you from Philadelphia. Yeah, so Swatch, I want to check them out, but I've never seen one that I want to check out enough that I actually would buy it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of my problem with Swatch. Let's do a little bit of editing. Greetings from Chile. All right. What time is it for all of you guys? Well, let's actually do a little bit of editing while I'm talking, since that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be working here, and you guys are supposed to be just peeking over my shoulder watching me work. So
to get their costs down so low. So this particular watch,
there we go. So we jump over to that. Ryan, good morning, Milwaukee.
Allows you to tell the time in 2 different time zones, and it does that in kind of an interesting way by incorporating a GMT window instead of a GMT hand. But when it comes to the technical specifications,
okay, so with that, let's go ahead and let's just kind of do a slow zoom in here, kind of highlight that GMT window on this watch. So in DaVinci Resolve, it's pretty easy to set a keyframe. So I'm just going to go to the start of this video. I'm going to mark the zoom here, leave it at 1, so it's a 100% zoom. And then I'll go to the end of the video of that clip, and I'm going to add another keyframe, and I'll just bump it up to there. And so what that's going to do is it's going to say from the start of where I first marked it to where I second marked it, zoom from 100 to 137%. And it will look like this.
So this particular watch, the
I get that kind of slow zoom in.
As the name would suggest, is a GMT watch. It allows you to tell the time.
Average Joe edits on iPhone and iMovie. Wow, that's cool because you can do it anywhere, right? I mean, I'm about to go on vacation and like a retreat and stuff, so I'm rushing to try and get everything done before then. If I just did it on my phone, I could probably just do it wherever. But I have this editing PC that I like to use. So that kind of does it. Ryan B, you got the maroon yellow variant. Great watch. Small strap though. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the second to last hole on it, so it kind of pops out.
But when it comes to the technical specifications of this watch, SWC really went above and beyond what most other.
Oops. Okay, so can you guys hear the video? So you should be hearing me talking over myself. Oh, Nathan, you're still there. Yeah, okay, so you're over in you're Australia, so that's close to Japan time zone. It's 11:30. Yeah, you're only an hour off from me, so that makes sense. Yeah, concave. I called it a bowl-shaped dial. Yeah, the dial's kind of an interesting one. Let's
The
see.
dial and hands are filled with BGW.
Okay, so I haven't done any loom
layers
shots
of
on that yet.
Luminova, which is one of
Yeah, so
and perhaps most
average Joe, if you had your morning coffee yet,
get, and perhaps most
your
impressively,
cup of Joe, as it were.
compounds you can get, and perhaps most impressively, this watch features a sapphire crystal that has 16 layers of anti-reflective.
Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's show the anti-reflective coating. I was outdoors earlier. Was this yesterday? Trying to catch some glare off of this thing, and yeah, you can see there's like nothing. I'm underneath a bunch of trees right now, which usually picks up a lot of reflections, but not on this watch.
You can get, and perhaps most impressively, this watch features a sapphire crystal that has 16 layers of anti-reflective coating on it, making it practically disappear. And Swiss Watch Company is the only brand that I know of that is putting this level
Do
of
that.
anti-reflective treatment on their watch crystals at any watch.
Gary Z06.
That said,
Hi.
there are a number of reasons why I think this
Assuming
watch
also
is
morning in
so
Miami.
there is a big difference between this watch and a luxury watch. I think a lot of that is particularly seen in some of the design choices and
Let's put the watch up. I've been talking for a while. This looks like this is a shot using my new camera slider that I just got. So it's a little thing that moves the camera for me.
is priced so low. There is a big difference between this watch
Let's
and a
go and
luxury
put that
watch.
in.
I think a lot of that is particularly seen in some of the design choices and obviously in the movement that's selected here. This is a fairly low-cost Swiss Ronda quartz movement. And while the design on this watch is good, it's fun and interesting and fairly easy to read.
So as you guys are looking at that, see if you notice anything missing on this dial that would be important for reading it accurately. It'll come up in the review later on. I don't know if you'll see it tonight, but when the review goes live.
Good, it's fun and interesting and fairly easy to read. It doesn't have the same level of refinement.
Let's just go ahead and cut to there. I think that's good. We'll come back to me.
It doesn't have the same level of refinement that these established luxury brands have in their watches. Now, SWC did send this watch over to me to keep.
So I'm going to put my disclaimer in there.
Flag at the beginning of this video. However, other than the watch itself, I did not receive any compensation from SWC, nor do they have any input into the content of this review. So let's start diving in a little bit deeper and talk about some of the features of this watch.
Okay, so this is film my reviews. So I film a couple parts with me on screen, and then I do voiceover. So the first half, this was all on screen, and then after that, now the next part is voiceover. I try and hide it so it doesn't look too obvious that that's what's going on. I'm using the same mic and stuff. But once we get to the voiceover part, I can no longer rely on just letting myself talk. I have to find footage to cover all this because it's just black once we get there. Yeah, slider's cool. It took me a while to get one, and the one I wound up getting, I got a motorized one, and I think it was like $250 or something like that. So it was pricey. That's why I held off for so long. But yeah, I got it because I could use the channel money to do it. I couldn't do it until the channel got bigger. But here's a cool slider shot. This is I'm using this one in the intro. This is the slider is sliding towards the watch, but then in DaVinci I've got the frame kind of zooming away from the watch at the same time, so you get this weird effect, which I thought looks really cool. Just like, yeah, does that. Yeah, Nathan, no minute markers and numerals need darker outline. Yeah, the no minute markers is the big deal. The numerals with the outline, yeah, it is light, but I think that's kind of the look for this colorway. If you get one of the other colorways, you don't have that problem at all. But the white dial with the white thing, with the white numbers, yeah, that's it's kind of light. But I didn't have a problem ever reading the numbers. But yeah, there's no minute markers, and that's what drove me crazy. So it's really hard to tell exactly what time it is or to set it exactly without that. But they do have two of the colorways that do have minute markers. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused as to why they didn't include all of it. It looks nice without them, but it's just hard to read. I think it's kind of just a design choice. Okay, let's see. So I can start dropping in B-roll here, but I'm actually gonna, yeah, let's see what we got. Okay, so I just grabbed, let me get the camera, the files I just pulled off my camera. And then, let's see. Okay. This is, I'm pulling in the wrong file on purpose here. Let me show you guys one other quick sneak preview while I got people watching. So this is another watch that just got sent in from Boulder. Let me pull it up in editing so you can see. I can't pronounce the name of this. It's named after that there's this bird that I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a black bird that has it does this mating dance where it flares its tail, and its tail has two blue spots on it that look like eyes, like this thing. So it's named after that bird. But the dial is made out of Logan, good morning. It's painted with a paint called Musu Black, which is supposed to be the blackest paint in the world. So it's got this kind of weird effect where the dial almost looks like a black hole. If you get direct light on it, you can see it, but in a lot of normal lighting, it just completely disappears. So that'll be fun. You want to talk about hard to read? There's nothing on this one. So this is kind of reminds me of like a Movado or something like that. But it's a fun looking watch. It'll be fun to review it. But mostly I wanted to get in because I wanted to check out how black that dial was, and it's pretty black dial. Anyways, enough of that. So we're going back to editing. So I'm going to grab this shot, which is upside down because I have my camera over my desk suspended, and so the frame is upside down, but we can just fix that by flipping it here, and we're good. So we're going to go to kind of a little unboxing segment. I think, let's remind ourselves.
The fact that this watch features a relatively low-cost Swiss quartz movement from Ronda, all of the technical features.
Well, let's start with maybe just. Maybe I'll throw the little opening the pouch. The pouch is nice, so I kind of want to feature that, but we'll show that later maybe. Let's just get the watch out. I'm talking about the watch. Get that. Yeah, get that in frame. Top tier ticker. Good to see you. Thank you for that. I guess I should be showing comments on screen while I'm talking about them. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for people to follow later. Okay, so we'll drop this in here. Put that up. Number of other guys. Anyways. Throw some comments up there. Good. So let's just see. So, see how that looks?
Other than the fact that this watch features a relatively low-cost Swiss quartz movement,
Yeah,
from
so
Ronda,
that's
all
good.
of the technical features of this watch are incredibly impressive. You're getting 100 meters of water resistance, a stainless steel case that has been treated with a hardening treatment to make it more resistant to scratches, with excellent polishing and brushing done on that.
This would actually probably be a good time to throw up the tech specs.
Grade A lume
Okay.
on that stainless steel case.
Okay, and then there we're gonna need to put in a lume shot, which I don't have yet. I've still got to film the lume shots. So, so I'm about to call it quits for tonight, but let's just do some quick color grading and for fun, since it's something different. You can see that part of it too, if anybody's still hanging around. So DaVinci has very powerful color correction. I think with my lighting setup on this one, I like the way it looks, but we can make it pop a little bit more. So we're going to drop over to the color tab. And I'm going to open up 3 nodes here. So this will let me adjust 3 different aspects of the color. These are kind of like layers. So whatever I do on the bottom one is going to affect the ones above it. So that's the most important one. So here, if you see over here, we've got these scopes that show the brightness of the red. Oh, there you go. Watch is checked. Good to see you. Of the red, green, and blue. And you can see that it's a little bit blown out here on the right side of the frame. So this is just right to left, how bright the red, green, and blue is. And you can see that it's blown out here. That's because I've got a light here. So this light here is clipping here. This here is probably my face, and that's where you want that to be kind of right around the top. So that's actually pretty good lighting. I don't really need to adjust that. The darkness, if I want to add more contrast, I can drop my lift down, which is going to darken the darkest parts of the image. So maybe like the edges a little bit. I can drop that down just a little bit. Add a little bit more contrast, which I like. Kind of sharpen up a bit. And then add some more saturation, again, primarily to affect the background. I want to make this background a little bit brighter, more colorful. So do that. So that's good green. That's going to make my shirt bluer too. I'll be mostly okay with that. And then the skin I can adjust in the next one. I'm going to come over here. And now I've got an eyedropper, which is going to select a certain color on the screen. So I'm going to grab, just go across my forehead and grab those colors. So this is, it's getting now, I've highlighted basically my skin tone. It's also getting my hair, some of the browns. That's okay. Some of the skin here is kind of, this in the shadow. It's okay if that's not there. I can try and adjust these to see if I can get a little bit more in there. But that's probably about good enough. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to blur this, make it real soft so that when I make changes, it will be very difficult to see. Bump that up to like 100 or something. And then DaVinci has another scope over here that you can put this line on. So this line is supposed to be a neutral skin tone. The higher up the line you go up, the more saturated or the more like colorful it is. So like look redder or orangey or whatever, the colors will just look more vibrant. I don't want that. I don't want to look too oversaturated. To the right of the line, above the line, is going to make you look a little bit more pink, and below the line will make you look a little bit more green. So depending on your skin tone, you can do that. But you can just grab this offset wheel here. The color correction I watched tutorials on YouTube for DaVinci. Yeah, I wouldn't have no way been able to figure this out on myself. But yeah, so this offset one is going to affect the color of the whole thing, and it affects it drastically. So you only need to move a little bit. So I'm going to grab that little pin in the middle. And then if you watch the scope over here, as I do, you can see, so I'm only affecting what I've highlighted. So only my skin tone here is the only thing that's getting changed here. So I can drag this. So if I go over here, I'm dragging my skin tone and make myself greener. Go over here, I'm pinker. I want to get kind of, right on the line, give sort of an orange tone. If I want to go, more saturated, I can move up the line. Now I'm really orange. I don't want that. Kind of eyeball that part, but you want to stick close to the line. I usually go a little bit above with my skin tone, go a little bit on the pink side rather than the orange side. Maybe about there looks good. I can turn this off and see. And so then, yeah, so you can see if I turn this on and off, the colors are a lot brighter right now, which this might be a little too bright. I think my saturation is maybe a little too high on the bottom here. I drop that down, especially because I'm wearing a blue shirt this time. So that's going to pop a lot more. But we do that. And then this last one over here, I usually just put a vignette. So I'm going to grab a circle and I'll put that in. And this circle, so this is going to affect everything inside the circle. I want to do the opposite. Hit this. So now I'm going to do everything outside the circle. And everything outside of the circle will be affected by my modifications here. This is going to make it softer as I do this. So if we turn this on, you can see this is like, very soft. So it'll be kind of really faded from, it won't just be like a straight, sharp line. We do something like that. So I do not want myself to change. I want to change the background. I want to make kind of the background darker, which will give you sort of the effect that a light is on me, and it sort of darkens the edge of the screens a little bit. So let's turn that off. So what I'm going to do is now I'll take the lift down, and you see if I do it, really drastically, you see what happens, but you only want to do it a little bit. Let's reset that. I'm just going to kind of take that down just a little bit, get the edges. And the other thing I do is, so I have a little light that's making this sort of green light behind me, but it's small and it doesn't get the whole room. I can just push all the colors towards that. So I've got this offset wheel again. And if I push it towards this color, which sort of matches that, it'll just make the edges where the light's not hitting also that color. You can see that just changed this to kind of match this better. It's also going to change out here a little bit more, which I don't have much color there. So there we've got a kind of a basic quick color grade on myself. And again, if I turn it off, it looks like this, which still looks good, but this really pops a lot more. It's a lot brighter, a lot more vibrant. So I usually do that. So then I'll grab that. So this is going to grab all the settings, and then I can go and just select all the, the clips of me and apply that grade to all of those. And again, like I always, when I'm doing this, I tend to gravitate towards brighter colors and more contrast, which oftentimes is too much. I have a tendency to overdo it because I'm not a pro here. I should go for something more subtle, but a lot of times I'll go back later and tone everything down. But for me right now, this looks good. Might be a little too saturated, a little too orange, but anyways. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's getting kind of late here. So that'll wrap it up for this. Another quick little editing session, but give you a little bit more idea of the editing process. It was fun chatting with you guys. Some people interested in color correction, so that's great. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for this, and I'll continue working on this video. Like I said, I'm about to go out of town for a week, so I'm trying to get a couple of videos done ahead of time so that I can make them go live on there. And that will do it. We'll see you later. See you guys later.